What's up, everybody? Coming back at you with a one that I'm not too excited about, and I'll be pretty honest. I've got a lot of projects and stuff that I'd like to do, like that little thing over there that I'm not going to show you. Anyway, she's gonna be getting an oil pan today, and I popped one of these. I'm probably going to go through about a case of them today. Alcohol's not my jive. I kind of like the Red Bulls, you know what I'm saying? So basically what's happened is I forgot to grab a light, so I can't show you right now. But I will in the next video, or the next segment. I bought this and the oil pan was super rusty. This thing's got a decent amount of rust under it. The rear trailing arms, they're fine. Which is weird. Usually those are the first to go, but they look great. But the oil pan's super rusty. So when I bought the Element, I just went ahead and ordered an oil pan. Because, you know, I don't even like knowing the fact that it's just as rusty as it is. Well, and then like a week later, I noticed a wet spot on the bottom of the oil pan. And I looked at it, and sure enough, she grew a pinhole. So, you know, I did the right thing then and just slathered RTV on it. And I guess today's the day for, you know, so let's get at her. All right, I've already had like 19 million distractions. It's been like 2 hours later. I just need to get this thing jacked up and get her done. I set the e-brake, put some blocks under the back tires. I like to jack it up from the front of the subframe right now. There's even a little arrow pointing at it. It's a good spot just to get the back end up, or the front end, sorry. Come on, you long-winded suspension. Oop, I guess that's all the jack wrote. Man, we're barely up. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Tire's probably going to touch when I set it down on that, and I can't raise it anymore. Kind of need that tire off. Don't need it off, but I kind of want it off. That sucks. Guess I'll have to take it off. Meow. Take it off right, meow, he said. I am not a fan of spline drive lug nuts. But if you want to be cool, you gotta do it. Good spot for you. Taking that off allows you, one, to get to these two clips, but to two, get to the couple of the front oil pan bolts a lot easier. Don't worry about that bushing. Don't worry about that metal on metal right there. It's fine. It is actually fine. I could care less. Yeah. Now you can see where I beat the ever-loving dog snot out of that. Trim this back. That's lifted things. You gotta do it, unfortunately, even when you're only running little fellas. All right, we're gonna get up under there. Even got the creeper out this time. Gonna drain our oil into an old trash can that I cut up. And I actually plan on reusing this too. Because, well, I just changed it. I don't know if you can see that, but looks like the RTV was holding up. It was leaking right at the bottom there. And then you can see how close to the subframe the oil pan is. Fun times. And somewhere for you to go. Oh yeah, that's the other reason. Jesus, this is worse now than it was even when I changed it. And I also forgot that some idiot put a super short plug in there. That's a got me. And I really didn't want to drop that crummy plug in there. So now I'm only going to use the oil that's on the top and not the crummy shit floating in the bottom from the crummy drain plug. Damn it. Fucking got me. Alright, got her cleaned up. Well, as good as I want to for now anyway. Cram that strip guy on there real good, like that's what you get. Get my trash can of oil over here. Trash can of oil. I'll for sure be putting my foot into that later. All right, now what you want to do? Get you one of these. These are pretty awesome for getting all these clips off, because you got to take this this little lower guy off, which it's not the funnest part of this whole process for sure. And actually, to my surprise, these are coming out. But normally they break. And got your 4 on the sides, which are usually a little more fun to get out. Alright, and after you get your 42 bajillion clips out, you finally drop your plastic fella. So normally at the shop, what I like to do is I like to unbolt this motor mount and put a like a scissor on the top, and then you crank your motor up and you raise your motor up, and then you really don't even have to mess with your cradle. But because I don't have a lift to assist me, we're doing it the DIY way, which is unfortunately dropping your subframe, which honestly on an Element CRV it's not that bad, because you have 2 motor mounts on the body on both sides. Where are you at, like? You see the one kind of hiding behind the transmission dipstick up there, and then I just showed you the other one. So your engine's not going anywhere. Probably a good time to replace your trans filter while you're down here, since you got that plate off. I'm not going to. So see, right now you got to take this through bolt out of your motor mount, which is this guy right here. You can actually just get an impact on that and pull that through bolt out. You don't have to take any of the other motor mount bolts out. And then you're going to be after your 4 cradle bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the cradle's not going to completely fall because it's connected with your ball joints and your control arms. So it's just going to kind of angle dangle a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I want to say that's all that's... Well, I lied. It looks like there's a 10. Yeah, there's a 10 for the stupid trans filter that goes through the subframe. You're gonna have to take that 10 out, which it's probably gonna break. So I lied. 2 bolts right here, a 10, and then the motor mount, which is looks like a 17. Yep. So I'm gonna get to getting on that. Let's see. I just got a little 1/4 inch and a 10 socket, short socket on that, and I'm gonna buzz that thing out. All right, get your little Milwaukee up in there. Oh yeah. That unfortunately required 2 hands, but because those Milwaukees like to jump back. But you can see it's got like a keepered nut on the other end that slides down on a groove, so you don't have to put a wrench or anything on that. And that's just the through bolt, your motor mount. That's the little 10 that I just took out. And now we're gonna hit all of our subframe bolts. All right, you got all 4 of your subframe bolts out here. They're all the same size. I did notice one of them had a ton of rust coming out, so I'm gonna slather that one in grease when I go back in. It's got a jack under there. I'm gonna let the jack down. And that's probably enough. Yep. I'm actually gonna leave a jack under there because normally you don't have to leave a jack under here, but because I'm lifted, what it's doing is it's pulling on my axles, and I don't want to separate an axle on the joint. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave my jack in here while I do this. It's not a big deal, but you can see now. You can swing 8 baseball bats in here. Yep. So now what you gotta do is you gotta take your torque converter cover off, which is just 3 abnormally rusty 10s. Man, these are rusty. These studs might give me problems. Yes, sir. So, yep, we'll get to getting on these 10s now. I had a feeling that wasn't going to work that well. There we go. See, she's a northern car, fellas. Y'all don't even know. If you're not from the Rust Belt, you have no idea. There you go, that comes out. Now let's tackle some oil pan bolts. Hopefully they actually come out. Oh yeah. Well, they come out of the oil pan, but not so much of the socket. Get out of there. Oh, I'm not gonna let you guys watch this whip me, I'm gonna move on, but I don't know if you can see this or not, but see that chunk of Honda Bond on the titty there? You want to get them off, because what happens is when you put your new Honda Bond on here, it's going to shoot some up in those holes, and then if you add it with the tip that's already on there, you can actually crack your block. Ask me how I know. And just because I'm a weirdo, like this one here, that stud pulled, and you see how rusty that is. I'm gonna throw all these down into some evapor rust. Some very used evapor rust. Oh, come on. But I have faith that may or may not do something. Alright, now I got all the bolts out. That was the fun part, is prying this off. And should get you one of these tools. I don't know if you can see that too well. It's just a kind of a weird hooky pry bar thing. And then get my light to work here. Right up here in this little hole. Usually a good spot to start. Doing this with two hands, so put you up here, and I don't know how well you can see now. And kind of get it in there. And normally you would be easy about this, and you'd work your way around and you pry on it, because the last thing you want to do is bend your oil pan. But if you're replacing it, you just kind of go to town on it. Well, I'll be honest, normally that just pops the whole thing off. So I'm wondering if somebody's been in here and resealed this already, and they used 18 pounds more RTV than the factory would have. All right, well, I'm gonna have to go to plan B and get this thing off of here. All right, well, it looks like I just pried on it just a little bit more, and it looks like it's pop, pretty much is pop free.
How dare you!
Yep. You got me again. You fucking got me again. Oh, take your dipstick out too. You don't need that in your way. And apparently your oil pump holds a shit ton of oil just waiting for you on both arms, all over the floor. So I will be back. All right, let's get this pan out of here. Throw some cardboard under there to catch the little drippies, and then pour this out and show you how much you don't get when you change your oil. Yep, all that stays in there. But it's probably hard to tell, but there's a tiny little shining in there. Tiniest little pinhole. Yeah, it's basically what you're gonna do. So you're gonna take a razor blade and knock down pretty much all the RTV that's on there, and then what I like to do is take one of these red like Scotch-Brite pads and just get up in there. Of course, that just dripped all over my GoPro. Why wouldn't it? But yeah, just get up in there. Don't be lazy about it. Make it look nice. And then she should stick. And you got to kind of watch out too, because on the back here, you can see oil is constantly running down. So what I like to do is the second before I stick my pan up, I like to get a rag with a little bit of brake clean and wipe that, and then stick the pan so that you don't get any of that oil mixed with your RTV. So for this step, I like to use Honda Bond, and you can get this stuff from Amazon. That's where I got it. Oh, it is recording. Thought I had lost it. So yeah, you just want to put a thick ass bead on this to the point that, like, when the next guy has to do it, he's really hating life. Oh, and I don't know if I said in the last segment, I like to scuff up the surface just a little bit with the red pad and clean it with a little bit of brake cleaner. Also, my tip got clogged up. This is an older tube, and I honestly didn't mean to make this bead this ridiculous. So I'm going to have to go back over this with the old handy, knock her down a bit, like a lot. So you don't want to use so much Honda Bond that your oil capacity is now reduced, because that much is squeezed into the oil pan. I'm going to clean this up. Alright, I just went super unnecessarily ham on this thing. You don't have to do that. Ah, man. I made another error. I forgot to grab my bolts. You need to grab your bolts. You know, let's just let this completely dry while I fish all my bolts out of here. Hopefully this stuff did something. I don't know. I reuse it and reuse it, and then reuse it, and then put it back in and reuse it some more. So it might not even work anymore. And from the looks of these, it doesn't work anymore. Stop it. Okay. All right, now I wonder where that. I want to look at the one that had the stud that pulled out. Let's see if that looks any better. No, not at all. I will point out these longer ones go in your front. Should have 3 of them. Then your studs go on the sides. Well, I'm just going to throw all these over there, I guess. It's probably not idea to shoot them in there full of evapor rust, but I screwed up and threw the Honda Bond down and was not prepared. Alright, so let's take this, take the brake cleaner that basically dried up. Creeper stuck on rocks. Alright, now just stop dripping for a second, would you? I think that's the only one that did that. Give her another wipe. Get this stabbed up in here. Without hitting the belt or the transmission would be nice. Now, of course, my stud pulled out in the front, so I can't see, which is really unfortunate, actually. I can't see my stud in the back. Huh? It went on. Might as well start my nut on this back stud. And I also don't remember where that stud is in the front. Or where my holes are. I'll be back. Alright, got them all in there, started by hand. So now you just want to go crisscross applesauce here. Tighten them all down. If I can get in there to see them. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Got the next guy. Fucking got the next guy. I think I chose probably the worst tool that I could have. You get the idea though. Alright, let's see if we can't get the subframe back up in here. I've greased up all the cradle bolts. Not that I had to or it really matters, but you know, maybe somebody 20 years from now will be like, hey, that's nice. So I just randomly put 2 jacks under this. And you do got one pilot here. Your motor mount's got to line back up. Which looks like I've already ran out of jack over here. Yep. That jack's exhausted. Well, something occurred. Not quite sure what had occurred, but something has definitely occurred. Let's see if I can get one started. Nice. Can we get 2? Not quite. Maybe. That might have gone cross-threaded. Can't really tell. I'm gonna save that old shitty rusty one for last. Can a guy just get under here and get this bolt in? I think that started. I am a little worried about my axles. I probably can't see it, but that one there looks like it's not really happy. I may have overextended its welcome. Let's try Sir Nasty down here. Alright, looks like all 4 of them started. I'm going to hammer them down. Alright, got all the subframe bolts hammered in there. Don't forget to put your cover back on. Now put your motor mount bolt in. Now the nut. some light up in the situation. I said light up in the situation. Goes on this side. I can already tell my mount's not lined up. Well, the light exited the situation. So that nut just slides into that little slot, and then your bolt, ideally, is going to go through the motor mount and come over here and talk to this nut. Looks like it might have. Oh yeah. So I'm going to hammer that in and then put the 10 mil back in for this, maybe. Alright. Yep. Got our new pan in there. Ooh-wee. Man, she is nice. Very nice. Got motor mount bolt in, got that bolt in, all four of those guys in. Now we got to put the plastic garbage back up, which I'm not really excited about that. That was definitely not one of my favorite parts of this. That's curious. I'm just going to quit looking at that. Yeah. So for this step, I like to use Honda Bond, and you can get this stuff from Amazon. That's where I got it. All right, now to pour a trash can full of oil back into a tiny spouted little funnel. Easy. I mean, I guess I could put new oil on this, but this is technically new oil. This oil's got like 200 miles on it, and it's not cheap. This is that good synthetic dyno oil. You ever seen anybody pour oil out of a trash can back into their engine? Whoa, easy. Ah. Yep. Gotta decide how much I want to leave in here. Probably not that much. I think I'll leave that much. About a quart. So I don't want to pick up any of that. All of those nice shiny brass shavings and stuff. It's interesting. Off the bottom of this trash can pan. All right, got her all squared away. This is a good place to leave off here. Went and drove it, everything's fine, it's not leaking. I'd say it probably took me, I don't know, roughly 2 hours kind of taking my time with it. And if you've ever filmed a YouTube video, you know that it adds at least double on whatever your normal time would be for any kind of repair. So I guess take 2 hours with a grain of salt. It's really not that bad. And obviously if a bolt rusted off, broke something, then you're gonna be in trouble. But not bad, not bad. Hopefully today I can maybe finish my other project I'm working on, which I've kind of showed you a little bit over there, but not all of it. And that video might be posted today after this one, or maybe in the next couple of days. I'm not really sure. I've still got to get this one out. It's been raining and hailing and just, the snow and the ice before that, and the mother nature just won't give up. We've got a lot of people asking for a highway drive video of this one with the Megan Racing exhaust, and just haven't had the time, you know what I'm saying? She is still in hibernation, so hopefully that'll be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, boy. So, yep, that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Out.